Welcome back, family. Welcome back to Nala's Journey. We're going to continue chatting about life in America. Today, we're going to talk about the amount of money Americans, spend on food. We're going to talk about that today, guys. Here's what I'm having today. All right, do you see that, guys? All right, I'm having a yogurt today. All right. And this yogurt, it's just a treat. It's not something that I'm going to have on a regular basis. This is not something that I'm going to do on a regular basis, that's for sure. And when I talk to you about life in America, of course, I'm not speaking about every American. I'm just talking about things that are common here in America. What a lot of Americans do in America. And, a lot of Americans actually eat out. Whether it be for a treat like this happens to be yogurt or ice cream. Fact is, a lot of Americans eat out. So guys, listen, I've been watching your comments, and a number of you have been asking about, the cost of living here in America. And in particular, the expenses for college students here in America. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that in this video, okay? I will. Welcome back, family. Listen, that yogurt was pretty good, but the price, not happy about the price, which I'll tell you about, shortly. Before this video ends, I'll tell you about the price. I'm still digesting the price of that yogurt. I am. Let me tell you, the price of, food, is expensive in here in the U.S. It is to me. Listen, if you live in the U.S. and if you believe also that the price of food is also expensive, drop me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from, also where in the U.S. If you're watching from Africa, the motherland, let me know what country in Africa you're watching from, please. But yeah, that yogurt was pretty yummy, but the price was just too high. Yeah. So getting back to, the price for food, like for example, if you're ordering lunch or dinner, I believe here in the U.S., okay, depending on what state, remember I'm here in Georgia, I believe you can get a, lunch or dinner, okay, for about $20 US. Just a moderate, dinner. Typically you can get that in a buffet restaurant somewhere here in the U.S., okay? Now, see, I compare that to going to the grocery store or the supermarket and buying my own food, okay, and preparing my own meals, okay? Because that $20 for lunch or dinner, that's just one time. But if I go to the grocery store and I pick up a couple of things, I can, cook something, cook a meal that's going to stretch out to 2 or 3 days, and it might cost $20 depending on what I cook, okay? But yeah, groceries overall, food shopping overall here in the U.S. is expensive. It is, okay? Listen, guys, listen. Those of you who are watching and you've been watching this channel, I appreciate all of you. I do. Please click like. Please share the videos. Please subscribe if you haven't joined the family. Join this family. I like when this family grows. I do. All right? Yeah, so listen, here in the U.S., grocery shopping can be very costly, okay? Let's say you got about $50 US. $50 US can feed a family of 2, let's say, okay, for a couple of days. It depends on what you're eating, okay? It depends, okay? But I'm more a fan of, buying my own food and cooking my own meals. It's healthier and it's definitely more cost effective. If I'm preparing my own meals, it gives me more money. For example, if I were living in an apartment, it'll give me more money for living in an apartment. Some people here in America are living in rooms regardless of age, young or old. I've talked about that. It's a fact. So if you live in the U.S. and you know that to be a fact, also drop me a comment about that, because all 52 states have people, regardless of age, young or old, living in rooms, because financially that's what they could afford. Here in Georgia, the cost for a room typically around $700 US. That's a one room, okay, where you're going to have to share the kitchen, you're going to have to share the bathroom, you're going to have to share the living room, okay? That's the cost here in Georgia, all right, for one room. You know, it might be a 2-bedroom apartment, it might be a 3-bedroom apartment, but your room that you're going to rent, for example, might cost about $700. Depending on what state you're in, it will cost more. So, for example, if you were living in Northeast U.S., somewhere like New York, my home state, it'll cost you more than $700 a month, U.S. dollars, for one room, sharing the space. That's pretty costly. So, you know, with these costs in mind, I believe it's really beneficial to an individual, to a family, to make the best financial choices regarding their food expense. Now, today I treated myself. It was a splurge, that yogurt. Let me tell you right now. Would you believe that yogurt? All right, I'm going to drop another picture of the yogurt right here, okay? That yogurt was 11 US dollars. I kid you not, guys. It even leaves a bad taste in my mouth saying that number, that amount. The yogurt that I just ate was 11 US dollars. That's the cost of it. Now, guess what? In New York, somewhere in New York, up north, it's going to cost you more for that little cup of yogurt. It's a yogurt store, no big deal, nothing fancy, nothing extreme, but it was 11 US dollars, okay? So, yeah, I've been telling you guys, it's the truth. I know it is. If you guys live in the U.S. and if you know the cost, the prices for food here is in the U.S. is expensive, you know, drop a comment about, hey, I know it to be a fact. If you know it to be a fact, share that comment, please. Listen, not everybody here in the U.S. is going through tough times, okay? I've mentioned that in previous videos. Let me reiterate that. Not everybody here in the U.S., across America, all 52 states, of course, not everybody is going through tough times financially, but there's a lot of people that are going through tough times, struggling financially. I told you, some people make bad choices. So when we're talking about food, I might have just bought a yogurt, okay? All right, here's the thing, that's eating out. There's a lot of Americans that eat out on a regular basis. $11 for yogurt. Okay, let's say you go and you buy some fast food for lunch. That could be about, $15, $20, depending on what it is, okay? Well, there you go. That's almost $35. Okay, that's one day. That's in one day. Well, there's 7 days out of the week, right, that we all have to eat. That's right, there is. Food in the U.S. is expensive. Bottom line, it is. But more and more people, okay, are choosing to eat out, even though things are expensive. I think a lot of times it has to do with time. Here in America, people are leaving their house early in the morning to get to work. They're depending on where they live in the U.S., they're traveling. They might be driving, they might be taking the train to get to work, and it takes them about an hour to get to work, okay? So with that in mind, an hour to get to work. They spend about 8 hours on the job or more. A lot of people are working overtime. We'll talk more about overtime in future videos, okay? Because that's a story by itself, the amount of overtime that Americans are working just to try to make ends meet. That's a separate video, guys. That is coming. It is, okay? Yeah, so, they go to work for 8 hours. They leave work. It takes them another hour to get home. Again, whether they're driving, whether they're taking the train, it might take them an hour to get home. It's a lot of money, guys. It's a lot of money. It is. People are stressed out. So that, I think, is another reason why, people have a tendency, not everybody, of course, okay, have a tendency of buying, some fast food, okay, some type of takeout, and having that for lunch or dinner, something like that. And sometimes people, buy, Americans are also big on buying breakfast. Donuts is a big thing. Sweet. Sugar, oh my God. Sugar in the U.S., guys, sugar, people love sugar. Donuts, cake. Now, here's the thing. Just comparing that to Africa. Now, it's my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've noticed a lot of Africans, a lot of Africans that I meet, they don't like a lot of sugar. Drop me a comment. Is that your scenario? You don't really like a lot of sweets, a lot of sugar? Let me know. But here in America, people like their sweets. They like the donuts, they like the cookies, they like their milkshakes, and all that kind of good stuff. So, it's common that people will, actually pick up some type of fast food, whether it be donuts or Starbucks coffee or some type of latte first thing in the morning. Now, I am definitely not a Starbucks fan. I don't drink coffee, number one. And even if I did, I would curb that habit pretty quickly looking at the price of the Starbucks coffee and all the drinks that they have. They look pretty. Occasionally I've tried once or twice or something, from Starbucks, but that's about it. I don't like their prices, okay? I can take the Starbucks money, save that. That can go towards my bills. I got to pay water bill. I have to pay electric bill. I got to pay gas bill, okay? So, this is how I manage finances here in the U.S., because I know the cost of food is so high. I've got to look at my other expenses, and see where I can cut down and cut back and eliminate, etc. Things are expensive. Things are pricey here, and that includes food. So yeah. So whether you're an adult, working a job, helping to take care of your family, or whether you're a student, I'd say the average lunch is about, 15, 20 US dollars, okay? But I would always recommend cook your food and prepare it and have your lunch and have your dinner. It'll be definitely more cost effective, and it will definitely be much healthier for you. It will, okay? So, yeah. Guys, listen, I hope you like the video. As always, I hope you like the content. If you do, press that like button, join the family, share the video. Sharing is caring. I appreciate all of you. This is Nala. I'll see you in the next one.